Hello, I'm Dr. Phil Busey. I will present for identification set 4 containing 19 species of Florida native plants. Species are listed in alphabetical order by scientific names. Several have had changes or corrections of their taxonomic nomenclature, either because of transfers from other genera or because of reevaluation of the proper identification. All species were observed and many were photographed in the North Beach area of Miami-Dade County Crandon Park. They occurred primarily in the first 3 of the natural communities listed: beach, dune, coastal berm, and coastal strand. These communities represent decreasing intensities of the influence of salt and wind as we get further and further from the ocean. Ardisia escallonioides marlberry is a medium-sized shrub with terminal inflorescences. Here's a close-up of one of the inflorescences containing many flowers. Here's a close-up of several flowers. They're white. The fruit eventually turn black with age. Marlberry is planted here at Gifford Arboretum. And here is marlberry again in a residential landscape. We must look for the terminal inflorescences containing either flowers or fruit, because that distinguishes marlberry from an invasive exotic, an imposter in the same genus, Ardisia, that has gotten carried away in county parks. Casasia clusiifolia, 7-year apple, is appearing more and more in commercial landscapes, whether interstate highways or edge of parking areas, because it does provide a pretty good cover and a lot of white flowers. 7-year apple has an oblanceolate leaf that's shiny and leathery, and the star-shaped white flower you see here. 7-year apple produces more of a pear-shaped or obovate-shaped fruit. The leaves are arranged opposite, as is shown by the arrow. And here are the maturing fruit, more light bulb shaped maybe. A medium shrub is Citharexylum spinosum, fiddlewood. It is grown here in a residential landscape. The leaves are arranged opposite, and the plant is distinctive in having orange petioles. The flowers are white. Both the flowers and the leaves hang downwards. The leaves of fiddlewood tend to be rounded at the tips, and the fruit, which are quite beautiful, are poisonous. There again are the leaves arranged opposite with a distinctive orange petiole. And there the fruit again. Commelina erecta, whitemouth dayflower, is a native Florida species. Here it is being attacked by love vine, which is a parasitic vine. Cordia sebestena, Geiger tree, is a very desirable plant. It's often grown in residential and commercial landscapes because of its bright orange flowers. Geiger tree also has a sandpapery textured leaf that's quite broadly ovate, and it makes a good medium-sized tree. Back at the beach is a Geiger tree, Cordia sebestena, growing under slightly drier conditions. There is an interesting Geiger tree tortoise beetle, a green beetle, on the leaf. Croton punctatus beach tea is in the Euphorbiaceae, or the castor family. Its leaves are a beautiful gray caused by microscopic stellate hairs. A close-up of the terminal leaves and the fruits shows the tri-lobed shape of the fruit, which is typical of its relatives in that same family. One of the heroes of beach conservation is Distichlis spicata, saltgrass. This is one of the first colonizers of beach dunes. It grows from rhizomes. You can see these horizontal runners, and some beneath the sand are emerging as new shoots. Ernodea littoralis golden creeper is a no more than 3 foot tall herbaceous ground cover like plant. It has pointy leaves that are opposite, elliptical. The flowers are faintly pink, not conspicuous. The fruits are orange. Ficus aurea, strangler fig, is a dominant force more in the maritime hammock. This is a plant that germinates as an epiphyte in the crowns of other plants, such as the sable palm, gradually puts its roots down to the ground and encircles the victim tree and grows bigger and bigger. The leaves of Ficus aurea strangler fig are ovate to oblong or even obovate, mostly up to 5 inches long. Here's the upper leaf surface of Ficus aurea strangler fig and the lower leaf surface. There is also an aurea, which is a small ice cream cone-shaped cover around the young leaves. When this falls off, it leaves a circular scar around the stem. Another way we can identify the genus Ficus. And who could forget the massive root structure caused by the growth of an old Ficus aurea. Guapera discolor blali is a medium-sized shrub to small tree. The obovate entire leaves may be undulate, but they are not serrate. The fruits are red, and they are not spherical, but they are shaped more like a pear. The leaves of Guapera discolor, blolly, are opposite, which is barely visible here, and very significantly, the midribs are translucent, and that will help distinguish the blolly from certain other species. Helianthus debilis, beach sunflower, occurs naturally in coastal areas of Florida, and it's been favored considerably in landscaping. This is a semi-natural use of the species. The leaves of beach sunflower are essentially triangular with deeply serrate margins. The flowers, which are head because it's a compound flower, have yellowish-orange ray flowers around the perimeter and a brown disc in the center. There it is used outside a local bank as a ground cover. It can be a bit aggressive. It shows how a native species can be invasive unless you contain it. For example, as this city park has done using the asphalt boundary. Helianthus debilis, again beach sunflower, growing in a residential landscape. Heliotropium gnapholodes sea lavender is an endangered species, and it is an amazing species to look at. It looks like it had come from the cloud forest of East Africa. The long leaves of sea lavender are silky hairy. Sea lavender does go into flower, and when it does, a closer inspection of the individual flowers shows that they resemble much the flowers of the Geiger tree, and no wonder, they're both in the same borage family. Sea lavender. Iva imbricata, seaside elder, occurs as an herbaceous ground cover, no more than 4 feet tall. It has a very succulent, fleshy leaf. The flowers are surrounded by imbricate bracts that are also fleshy. The leaves are subopposite. And there's a close-up showing the fleshy, shiny leaf. Seaside elder, Iva imbricata. Lantana depressa, pine lantana, is a good alternative to more invasive species. It has a yellowish-orange flower, opposite serrate leaves. That shows the opposite leaf arrangement. and it grows to no more than about 2 to 3 feet tall. Here's Lantana depressa, pineland lantana being grown in a residential landscape. And here's another instance where Lantana depressa, which is in the center foreground, is surrounded by other members of the same family. And by the way, there's a fiddlewood tree in the upper left. Morella cerifera wax myrtle is a medium to large shrub with very aromatic leaves that are narrowly oblanceolate to spatulate, often notched at the tip and coarsely margined. The leaves contain many chemicals, waxes, oils, and resins. The wax myrtle was moved from the genus Myrica, where you will still find it today in many books, to the genus Morella. It's a very common species in the landscape throughout many natural communities all over Florida, and it's called wax myrtle. The fruits are small and waxy and bluish and fragrant. Morella cerifera here showing that it has reddish twigs that are glandular dotted. Interesting, the genus name Morella is the same as the title of a book that is scary and dark by Edgar Allan Poe. Pisidia piscipula, Jamaican dogwood, has pinkish flowers. It has large pinnately compound leaves. They tend to be gray on both the upper and lower leaf surface, much more so on the lower leaf surface. It is the first species in this group that we've seen that has compound leaves. Jamaican dogwood. And here are older leaves. Actually, that's one leaf with several leaflets, quite gray. Pithecellobium keyense, Florida Keys blackbead, is an inhabitant of the coastal strand. There it is again, forms a small sprawling tree. The leaf is bipinnately compound. It typically has two primary pinnae, each of which has two leaflets. So leaflet number 1 and leaflet number 2 are part of the leftmost primary division or pinna, while leaflets 3 and 4 are part of the rightmost division. So it's divided twice. Here again is Florida Keys blackbead showing 4 leaflets in 2 pairs, in 2 pinnae. The fruit is absurdly curved, in some cases curved around and around. Inside, it's often red. Ernodea aculeata, white indigo berry, is not normally used in mass plantings like this. It is a very small shrub. It has leaves and stems that are arranged opposite. You can see the opposite leaves on the left and a cross configuration where two opposite stems come together. That occurs again and again, and it gives kind of a pointy appearance to the plant. And here you see opposite leaf on the left, opposite stems at the lower center. And the shape of the leaf is often obovate, small, may have a little point on the end. The flower is white, and it looks like a very small version of Casasia clusiifolia, the 7-year apple. And that's not surprising because they're both in the same Rubiaceae family, the coffee family, and they both have opposite leaf arrangement. Ernodea aculeata has fruits that will eventually turn white, although they'll be purple on the inside. And there are the stems again with that cross configuration. And there is a collection of the fruits. There's a little nubbin at the tip of the fruit. That would be the remains of the calyx lobes. Ernodea aculeata, white indigo berry. And finally, our other beach conservation hero is Uniola paniculata, sea oats. This photograph was taken on Florida's west coast, but throughout the shorelines of Florida, Uniola paniculata grows naturally and has been planted to help hold the sand dunes together. It is a grass with a very large spikelet that's flat. And you can see here on the berm of the sand dune that there's a mass of sea oats that's holding the sand together. And there are some white stems coming out of the ground that appear to be part of an underground rhizome structure by which new shoots can emerge. Those are the species I've set forth. Thank you. I hope you enjoy them.